This is day one of the Radiohead subreddit. What do they call it? Like tribute album, covers album of Radiohead songs. I put my hand up for Fitter Happier, which I started learning on trumpet in 2023, hoping that I'd get it in for that year's round. Someone beat me to it. Not important. I still want to go with that idea. Cue trumpet clip from 3 years ago. But already I've taken a little bit of a fun turn. I still want to do the trumpet lead line, but I found these really nice voicings for the main chords with a bit of trem bar to make it sound like spooky David Lynch slow 30s room. It sounds like this. I think I'm ready to record the guitar part. The only bit that I was not too sure on was one little, which is the trickiest part, and I don't know if I like it. It was just physically nice to play. I don't know if it will sound like the right thing, and if it does, I'll just overdub it. The chords are all, I haven't changed them at all, other than just the voicings of them, but they're still technically the same chord. I've just decided to go for a much more strict pulse, and I guess changing the 3-2 time to a 3-4 time, but that's not really a major. Here goes again, 11 BPM slower. Okay, so I think I've figured out where I'm going off from the sheet music, and I think it is making sense, but I'm essentially doing the little notes that peek through half as often as they happen in the song, and I'm kind of just going with my own melody that's been in my head when I've just recollected the song from memory, which are pretty different to what's in it, but not completely different. In fact, that's exactly the same. Yeah. So some are different, some are the same. So now I'm going to try recording melodica with these lines. I need the microphone and stuff. So I'm using the Shure SM7B, which is a pretty common microphone. I think it's like a slightly updated version of the one that used in Thriller. Who cares? It also seems to be the one that like every podcaster uses these days. But the thing that they don't tell you is you pretty much have to use some kind of preamp because it's just so quiet. So I am using Cloud Lifter. The Cloud Lifter. Magic little blue box. It's done the opposite of what I wanted, where it's killed the signal entirely. I'm gonna do some tech support. Solved. Phantom power. Always. Where does the sound come out of this thing? Do I need to... A good start. Alright, I'm listening to it back. The whole time I've been going between B and C is the... Oh god, it's bad. I don't need to be listening to that back while I'm trying to think. Been playing B and C, but of course, that's not going to be what I want. C and D flat. C and D flat. Yeah. Alright. So I think tomorrow we'll be doing it all from scratch, which is fine. It doesn't actually take that long. The longest part is, what's the word I'm looking for? summoning mental fortitude. So I'll record it maybe just slightly slower, and then the few times that there's a chord that just goes for one bar, there's like a B flat minor into A diminished into F, which each lasts one bar each. I reckon I'll just get them on 2 bars each, and then that will help make sense of the changes as well on the melodica, those higher notes. So I'll be able to have like a more uniform passing tone between chords. Yeah, it's coming together. Cool. Overall kind of frustrating, I suppose, just to have a day of recording stuff that I'll have to redo. But that's also just kind of how it goes. And this feels a lot better than having a full day of, oh, I never got around to it, which is most days up until recent history. So this is good. This is progress. This is slow grace. Okay, here we go. About 5 BPM slower. I think I'm going to keep the little flourishes that I had instead of going super simple. Added a nice little bass sort of rundown at the end as well, which I think is nicer than whatever I was doing before, which I think was just like staying on the B flat minor. I actually listened to the song again to remember what it does. I'll just make the ambient part at the beginning longer before the chords kick in, and I have some fun ideas for that part, so maybe the longer it is, the more of those fun bits that I get to play around with as well anyway, so maybe it'll all work out for the best. Let's redo just that last little bit. Otherwise, I think I sussed it. I think I nailed it. Hopefully. Well, it started raining, so that'll either be annoying or add to the ambiance. They went okay. The clicks are a little loud. There is like an ASMR element. Maybe the clicks are good. Maybe the clicks are good. I'll start again anyway. I think that was it. Either way, I'm out of breath. think I got a note wrong, and either it'll just work or I'll just choppy changey. But yeah, I think that was it. Cool. Bass? I think there's enough kind of discorded notes in the melodica versus the guitar already. I think I need to stick to the roots mainly, except for just a couple of places where I think a third or a fifth is nice, but nothing sillier than that. Oh, is that good levels? Yes. There's also that 1, 3, 4 bar that happens around there. Alright. Got it in one take? Doubtful, but it felt okay. Octaves, bad. Fifths, good. One, two. There's that one bar of 2/4 that is the result of a mistake, and I like it, but it is messing with me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, just don't rush it. Don't rush it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think I got it. Wow, look how dark it is today. I'm up to the trumpet. I need to work out what I'm going to play, and I'm not going to do it on a trumpet because I don't really know how to play it, and so that's going to be the slowest way to work out the notes. So, I was thinking of just doing the like mouth trumpet. That would be fast in theory, but also doesn't really help that much. I definitely don't have perfect pitch. I'll then have to work out what notes I'm playing, singing. Meanwhile with the guitar I actually know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna dial in some kind of muted trumpet sort of sounds with the pedals, record in sort of a scratch track referring to my, I don't think I've shown you my chord chart, my lead sheet. It's this. It's detailed enough. It works, right? It works for me. So I'm gonna be referring to the chord, the bass, which is just the lower, and then the passing notes, which is the. So somewhere between those things, sometimes it'll be doubling, sometimes it'll be harmonizing, just to try to get the most effective but kind of sparse sound, because I won't be able to play the trumpet fast. Let's give that a shot. F, G minor, F sharp diminished. From the G minor out of the diminished ascent. So just the last G minor into B flat. Take one. I don't know if it's the old trumpet, the schmute, or my playing. I'll say probably mainly my playing. Didn't think I'd have trouble getting a trumpet in tune. Thought it would just either sound okay or not. But even when I'm getting it in okay like tone, it's pretty sharp. It turns out you can't just take a trumpet out every 2 to 3 years and play it and expect to get a result. I think the word is hubris. So, no trumpet at this point. Maybe I'll have a more miraculous session attempt with it later on. But for now, I was like, I'll just make a guitar sound like a trumpet. And I sort of got partway there, and then I got waylaid in a pretty fun direction. It kind of almost sounds more like the very end of Karma Police, where it's getting a little out of control. Here's what I'm doing to get the sound that you're about to hear. Instead of playing through the Jazz Master, which is mainly what I've been playing lately, playing through my Telecaster that I've had since forever, that I got some Seymour Duncans in the Alnico 2, I think. Is that how you pronounce that? Usually I go for like a bridge pickup when I'm going for really lead lines, but this the bridge has that slight mellowness to it that lends itself better to the trumpet sound, which I'm not really going for anymore, but it was the basis of where I've wound up. Let's get you off the tripod. A little bit of modulation with the Juliana, bit of delay. This is the important delay, set to really slow attack, so it's much less percussive and is almost like little volume swells at the beginning of each thing, especially because the mix is set completely to wet. Reverb on the modulate setting as well, which works nicely for vaguely trumpetish sound, and Big Muff just to really ruddy well push the sound. In terms of my Pro Tools, this is a tweaked, supposedly muted trumpet EQ. Very sort of telephone, very peaky mid with all the highs and lows cut. I tabbed it out even. I did it in 6/8 instead of 3/4, it doesn't really matter. But that's what I'm playing. That's what I'm about to play. I missed a note. I'll check if it worked out nicely anyway. While I've got the thing set up for this tone, I'm just going to get some like ambience. The only difference I've made for this is switch to the bridge pickup, which generally responds to that kind of nonsense. At this point I feel like the melodica is getting a little dissolved. I'm going to double track it. So I got the update this morning that I've got 2 weeks to finish Fitter Happier, which actually feels like a pretty comfy amount of time. I have a tendency to panic as soon as I am reminded of a deadline, but then I just remember 2 weeks is actually heaps for a part-time employed person like myself. So today I'm just going to do some bowed guitar, and I'm going to keep it real simple. I'll just do the 12th fret harmonics of the lowest strings. I'll try a couple of different things. Fully open. Maybe, I mean, I'll try the 5th fret. It's just here, so I can do that. And I'll go for like an open tuning as well, more or less keeping it to the B flat minor. So I guess that'll mean I'll tune the E down to like a D flat, not that extreme, and then tune the A just up a semitone to B flat, and then tune the D down. So I've got 2 D flats an octave apart with the B flat in the middle, keeping it on that root and flat third. It's essentially that. I'll play around with the pitchfork. Octaves are the obvious thing, but I can't do the maths in my head right now, the music theory maths. But I feel like it should work to tune that to a 5th. Obviously that'll work for the root notes, and then for the minor 3, it'll tune it up to the dominant 7th, so the minor 7th. So that'll actually work out just fine. Let's see how that actually sounds. So I guess let's get started even before any effects. Playing a guitar with a cello bow. I can't remember why, but it's advised by people to play with a cello bow as opposed to a violin bow. I've enjoyed that. Just having a slightly longer bow means that you can get away with bowing it for longer. You want to get it real tight, because you're going to want to really dig in. And the next thing, get a heck load of rosin on that sucker. If you've ever played and you're like, I couldn't make it sound anything that wasn't just like a horrible little squeaking noise because you didn't have your rosin on there, or not enough of it. However much you think you need more. I haven't been bothered to turn my amp on because I know that I'm just going to go straight from the guitar through the pedals into the input. So this is going to sound like nothing. But how's that? I haven't done this in a little while. I used to do it a bit in one of my bands, and I think I used to hold the guitar a bit lower. So obviously there are a few people that have done this already. It's the kind of technique that for some people it's like, whoa, what are you even doing? And for other people it's like, this is boring, I've seen 4 other people do this. So I get it. I just like the sound of it, you know, and I like it feels cool. It's just like quite physically different to anything else on guitar. You have to be all arms, all big limbs to really get in there. Yeah, this feels better. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear like the higher screeching sounds. Most likely you can. Those sound a lot cooler once they've gone through the things into the thing as opposed to just acoustically. So this guitar I bought basically just for playing with a cello bow. It's got a few particular features about it that help it do that. The main thing is just that it's like an arch top. It's my only arch top, and then it's humbuckers. You want to use the bridge pickup, full tone, full volume on the pedals, a ton of reverb, 1 or maybe 2 delays, and my hotcake. I might chuck in some Big Muff. A little bit of fuzz could be cool, but I never used to. And I mentioned the pitchfork just to get that 5th above, but I might go a 4th down, depending on how the tones kind of ring around. If I feel like it's already too shrill, I don't want to go like a 5th above to make it even more shrill. I'd rather start it a 4th below. So it's a 5th, but an octave down. Turns out that wasn't recording. I think I got what I needed. Alright, so I just got back from work. Do I look tired? I feel tired. And I've been thinking about how when I started this, it was going to be trumpet, and then melodica became the main instrument. And now the bowed guitar sort of ambience is almost the main instrument. And when the melodica comes in, it comes in, I think, kind of suddenly in a bad way. So I want to lead into it by bringing in a pretty simple, more monophonic thing, and I'm thinking I'll do the classic coin trick on the guitar. I want to vaguely nod toward fuzz bass, because I also noticed that there's a part where it's either the bass line or the electric guitar pretending to be a trumpet is playing the rising melody in exit music, the sort of ascending da 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 da, now we are one. I want to give that just, I guess, a little bit more and call it deliberate. It wasn't so far, but it is now. So this guitar, I believe, has the sort of hottest output pickups of any of my guitars. I don't actually know what they are. My friend and his uncle put it together. It's like a parts caster. It's way too heavy. Alright, we've got delay and fuzz from the Big Muff and a bit of octave going. So kind of simple as far as this kind of thing goes, I guess. I think I'm also just going to double the climbing bit using the exact same effects, but just picking. And just for fun, just to be real heavy metal, I'll still use the coin, because I can't be bothered getting a pick. Probably have too much stuff going on because I cannot hear that, and I know that it's loud as hell. It was real lost in the mix, so I hard panned what I did yesterday to the left, and I think I'm going to go an octave up from there. I'll try with the coin for fun. Same part, and pan that hard right. Where do I want to start it? Should I just do it all up the E string? That would make sense. So it'd be F, C, no, F, A, C, F, D. Yeah. Let's find out. think that might have worked. Gonna do some trem picking with like the octave up for some just piercing awfulness. I wasn't planning to keep it going to the end, but I think it kind of worked. I wound up recording just a little nod to talk show host while I was in there. I didn't get that on camera, so that's just our little secret. By which I mean my little secret that you didn't see. I think it's just the vocals left to go. I was strongly considering getting all dressed up as a sort of ASMR girly, but I just went out into very rainy weather, and I'm feeling lazy. Let's just do it. Let's have some fun. Let's get in character. What I've found is that it's quite difficult to try to talk with this sense of clarity, keeping plosives under control and consonants tight, without sounding like Winona Ryder impersonating Björk on SNL. Fitter, 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 happier, more productive, fitter, fitter, happier, fitter, happier, more productive, comfortable, not drinking too much, regular exercise at the gym 3 days a week, getting on better with your associate employee contemporaries, sleeping well, no bad dreams, no paranoia, careful to all animals, never washing spiders down the plug hole, no longer afraid of the dark or midday shadows, self-employed, concerned but powerless, concerned but powerless, concerned but powerless, an empowered and informed member of society, calm, fitter, healthier, and more productive. A pig in a cage, a pig in a cage on antibiotics. A pig in a cage on antibiotics. So here we are a couple of weeks later, and I'm pretty chuffed with how it all wound up. And I thought that maybe it would be a good idea just to take you through the completed project. There are a couple of bits that I didn't film, and there are a couple of bits that just happened in the production of it that I thought might be interesting for anyone who has been interested enough to stick around this long. So I think there's mainly 3 things. Some little reverby flourishes that I put on the vocals. Another is a second bowed guitar part that kind of mimics the melodica. And the third was the little talk show host nod. So this is the Pro Tools project. So let's dive into the little talk show host bit here. About 55 seconds into it, I'll just play with everything going. Never washing spiders down the plug hole. Keep in contact with old friends. Enjoy a drink now and then. Will frequently. So it was just there in the left channel. Now I'm going to solo it. So I think I might have done that just as a little sound check for myself. It's, you know, one of those little riffs that I like to just play, and it just wound up there and I kept it. The next thing I wanted to share, because I did a bunch of bowed guitar and I showed that, but it was so ambient without any sense of pitch besides being vaguely in the key, just with open or harmonic strings. It's more or less playing along with the melodica part, that main melody, but just fewer notes. So where the melodica might be going da 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 da, the bowed guitar is probably just going like da da or something. I can't actually remember what I played. Here's where it comes in at about 1 minute 14. So just play that again with it not soloed, see if we can hear it amongst the cacophony. It's panned toward the right, so listen out for it in that direction. I've got it mixed pretty low. It's kind of for ambience. It's not really something to latch onto. Just something to add to the terrifying everything. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, the last thing. I was pretty happy with how the vocals came out, recording them in stereo with the 2 microphones. The ASMR nightmare. I thought, let's add some reverb or echo, something to just give it a little bit of a additional fearful factor. But I still wanted to keep the crisp all there. So I wanted to keep the dry signal there as much as possible while having the reverb over top. I did this real messy thing really of just copy pasting the vocal onto a new track and adding reverb to that one while keeping both of them playing at once. Very silly, but whatever. It worked for this. So here's the first one. So you probably heard that of the dark. That's the bit. If I just solo both vocal parts.
No longer afraid of the dark or midday.
So you hear, heaps of reverb on one channel while it still kept the crispness of all the consonants. Here it is with just the reverb channel.
Of the dark.
Here's the next one. Can't remember what this line is.
And more calculated.
And more calculated. Here it is with both.
And more calculated.
So you can hear all that k-k-k bits. And with everything playing. It's so far back in the mix with the insanity of what's going on. Last one. I think I just had the word kisses. Everyone likes a good sinister kiss, eh?
Still kisses with saliva. No longer.
Yeah, that's the 3 little reverby bits. So yeah, if anything, maybe I've mixed the bass a little loud. That's the thing that can totally happen. I've already submitted this, so it's too late to turn it back down, and I like the bass part, so whatever. I think I kind of explained the premise at the beginning, so here I am at the end. Mainly the vocal part. The obvious thing I felt like would be, instead of doing the computer voice, the Fred voice from the 90s, to do like an AI voice. Felt like a very 2026 response to that, but I didn't want to use AI even as a commentary on AI because I think that's gross in a creative project. So instead, I quite like the idea of ASMR being more of an inverse to the 90s computer voice, where that was a computer trying to sound like a human. Meanwhile, I feel like ASMR, this audio art, is humans trying to sound hyper-clinical in a way that we can't without the right microphones and processing. You can kind of put a bow on that comparison in a lot of different ways. It's an inconclusive response, I think, to the original rather than an echo of it, which is what I quite like to see or do in a cover. So I think that's probably everything that I wanted to say about this. So thanks for the interest. Bye.